What
Oh,
is up, everybody? It's me, Duke Farley, back at it again here on Lost at Sea, and we are back for another summer adventure here. We are doing a little more Big Brother coverage, Big Brother 26, and I'm back with my Uncle Shane and Patty Ice with the fresh cut. What is up, guys? Pat, first of all, Pat, how are you? What's been going on?
Everything's great. I'm very excited to jump back into this season. Nothing to report over here. Just got a fresh fade. So my girl Chanel from Supercuts, nice,
Chanel.
Super
nice.
cuts.
God.
Chanel from Supercuts.
Which supercuts? Because there's like 1,600 in Southern California. So, like, which one is it?
The one in East Hollywood, she's great. If she's watching, which would be a miracle. Thank you, Chanel.
I think she just
Why is she
subscribed.
blind?
Oh,
Like, why would Chanel not be watching?
That's true. This is all I talk about whenever I get my haircut. So
now, Uncle Shane, how have you been? I know you recently went to Italy. How was the trip? How's everything been with you?
Everything's good. The trip was wonderful, and now I am back in Los Angeles, and um, hopefully starting a new project soon. But you know what I want to start right now is talking about Big Brother because I'm so excited.
Uncle Shane, there's a couple of chefs on this season, and I thought it was a fun parallel. You are dating Giada, a chef. Um, have you ever heard of these chefs before? I mean, Tucker
Zero.
here and Lisa.
Zero. And you know, the thing is like, besides dating Jada, it's that, I've worked with celebrity chefs for a long time. Like, I started the Rachel Ray show. Um, I've worked with every celebrity chef that's ever come and done a talk show. I feel like I've never seen that woman. I've never heard of her. And then today, to prepare, I felt like that question might come up. So I wanted to see what made her a celebrity. And even Googling it, I've not been able to figure out why she's a celebrity. Like, typically you would have like done something on television or podcast or radio. I haven't seen anything. She seems like she is a personal chef, which is
yeah,
different than a celebrity chef.
maybe she's a chef for celebrities, which is kind of a
I,
different thing, but
it, it's a different thing. It's a little misleading, but you know what, Pat? I thought that might be the case, but I didn't see any celebrities connected to her at all. So I don't know what that's about.
and it's tough when she's like, "Yeah, I'm a really great chef," and then she starts putting glitter on everything, edible glitter. I was like, "Is that what we're substituting sugar for? What's happening?" This is,
I thought
But
that
it
not
that
wasn't
was
on
going to come
food.
up too. The glitter to the have-nots. What a move, huh?
oh yeah, going to the have-nots day one and be like, "You guys want to eat? I just made a bountiful meal. I know you guys can't, but do you guys want some?"
They were salty too. They're like lifting weights. They're like, she knows. She said it on purpose. Like, they were pissed. They saw
Yeah.
right through it.
It's all right through it. And what an interesting start. The first couple of days or episodes, we had, the first 8 house guests coming to the game, and it looks like this theme it's going to be AI. We were talking about it a little bit last season with the one chick that we thought was AI generated. But now we have Ainsley and we have, the twist of the AI. What did you guys think of, just the general, vote to save Ainsley and get her into the game, and then completely pull the rug from underneath people and said that was not a thing?
I did like that. Uh, I thought they were definitely going to vote her out. Like, they were like, nobody's going to vote another person in. That's ridiculous. A few of them did. I was surprised. I'm surprised it wasn't all no's, but a few people kind of read into that as if it was a twist. Like, Matt actually read into that a little bit. Um, Still voted no, but I did think that the competitions and the powers and the whole thing, that was awesome. I thought that whole it kind of won me over. Initially, I wasn't a huge fan, and then to see it play out, I thought one of the most brutal that downgrade. It was one of the most brutal things I've ever seen, other than I think it was BB 22 where David got eliminated night one for losing a competition. That happened, but I thought this was really, really good, really good punishment, and then really cool powers too. The deepfake HOH is cool. The veto I really like. So I think they're throwing so far. I'm loving the competitions, and I love this new kind of theme. They won me over.
I felt like when they were first like, do you want to let this young lady into the house? You know, she was so sweet. It was clear that the only answer is yes. Like, I can't understand. Now, obviously, you don't want another person in the house that you have to get out. So clearly, Big Brother is doing something, and there's going to be consequences involved. And the fact that people didn't see through it, like, blew my mind. Like the cop, like he could sniff that one out. You know, it's like, come on, dude.
What, speaking of the cop, what do you think of his kind of disguise of him being a cop, being a, you know, food truck owner? Did you think that people are buying that?
No, he's the most cop looking fruit truck owner I've ever seen. Literally 30 seconds in, Cedric was like, "Oh yeah, military cop," like called it out immediately. He's like, "Oh, yeah, this is gonna be a lot harder than I thought." I was like, "Yeah, because you look like a cop."
He also like, he's doing that thing that every season does in the beginning where they really want to remind you that he's a cop. So when he was in like the diary room, he's just like, I can't believe I have to switch. My detective skills didn't help me. I had to kick open the door and come up with something. It's like every cop thing that you could say, he said to remind us he's a police officer, but you don't have to, because his face tells us every 2 seconds that he's a cop.
That is one of the best things about Big Brother, is that they play on the stereotypes in the beginning so much, and they just, it's not until like the back half of the season that they finally stop doing that. Like with Angela, she's like, I'm not your average mom. And like, and with Lisa the chef, she goes, I'm ready to cook it up and turn up the heat in the kitchen. And like,
Yes.
shut the fuck up.
Speaking of the competitions, I, you know, the first competition that we're introduced to is, you know, spin around in a chair and look at colors. You know, Big Brother loves to spin people around in chairs and watch them fall over. I was thinking we were going to get a little Miss Felicia fall over action this season right off the bat.
Well, I love that they always put the older people in that situation.
Just trying to expose people. But Patrick, you mentioned, you know, this was for an upgrade or a downgrade in the game. And let's start off with the two downgrades, because that's what's revealed to us first. Kind of brutal, right? You lose almost every single power that you could possibly have, and you can't vote, and you're in a mascot uniform for the first week. Brutal.
Yeah, right off you have absolutely no leverage in any situation. Like to not be able to compete in both now 3 competitions you're not allowed to compete in, and then not have a vote. That's a huge disadvantage, and we'll get into it. But I thought it would have been very easy for the HOH this, like when that was revealed that they're just going to be off the board, can't compete, can't vote. I was like, oh, perfect. This is going to be the easiest HOH ever, because you can easily just be like, all right, well, you guys were the bottom 2. They can't vote. They can't do anything. I mean, luckily Cedric and Chelsea kind of like made friends very fast, and we're kind of in the right room. I feel like at literally just picked the right bedroom to sleep in, because I was like, if I'm the HOH, they're going up, and that's the least amount of blood on my hands, especially now that there's 3 people that are going to be up. So I thought it was brutal for Cedric and Chelsea, but it seems like it worked out for them.
Yeah, definitely skated. Yeah, I think just being in the right bedroom at the right time, honestly, was what saved them. But I want to talk, before we get into the actual HOH comp. There was such an awkward, you know, scene between Angela and Matt. Angela, who, you know, ultimately wins the HOH, but before she goes into this competition, she's just kind of blatantly you know, saying, Matt, you're going to be in a showman. You are the one to get out. How just like out in the open is Angela, Uncle Shane? Kind of crazy.
Well, you know what the thing is with her is that it really wasn't a malicious thing, and I believe that to be true. She says that later. It's this was an attempt for her to be like, don't count me out. I'm cool. I know how young people hook up type deal. And it was just so over the top and corny. And it made her feel like it just, it's like when a real old guy wears jeans and you're like, that's not, doesn't make you cool, right? Like, it's like, come on. And so she was trying to sound like she was with it. And it was so, it just made her look so corny. Now, the thing is with this dude is that he's like shocked that she's saying that. All this dude talks about is how handsome he is, right? The whole time is just like, I can't be thinking with, I got to really like stay focused because clearly, women love me. And it's like, all right, dude. And maybe he is that handsome. I have no idea. I think he's like average looking, but man, he is a big fan of himself.
I also I agree that it was kind of wild. He's like, I don't know where she's getting this from. It's like, dude, come on, stop. All right, we get it.
You're towering over everyone right now.
Yeah, you're literally built like a Greek god. He's like, yeah, it's wild. I read poetry, I'm different. I'm not like those other meatheads, even though all you've seen me do is work out and talk about how hot I am.
But dude, Did you love it though when they showed the coming attractions for next week? He's crying like a bitch. Like there's something that happens where he's like straight up crying like a little bitch. Like I cannot wait for Wednesday.
There was a subtle montage of somebody was saying like, I think the one girl who's like big into chubby chasing, like likes the larger men. Leah, she was talking about how there's no large men, and then they did like a montage of all the dudes lifting weights, and at the very end they pan to fucking Joseph and they do the wah wah music. I was like, dude, this guy just took a ricochet shot here.
First of all, Big Brother, even in the opening, they're like, Mackenzie's talking about, it's like, there's like really no tall guys, and then it goes not over 6 foot, not over 6 foot, not over 6 foot. I was like, Jesus Christ. And then with Big Brother with that, it's like, all these guys are really like really ripped, and then shows Joseph, and then the
like this guy just took a ricochet shot on the editing there.
But you know what the thing is? This guy seemed like when they showed him in his videotape shop, like his VHS thing, whenever he works, he looked like he had a lot of personality, and he's just like my mustache. He's brought zero to the house. Like he's a snooze, right? The one scene where Angela, I think, is talking to him, he's just staring at her with like a death stare. Like he said nothing.
He gave me creeper vibes, to be honest, from the beginning. But I think he kind of rats out Matt right at the end there. I thought that was kind of a nice little game move by him. But I think he kind of falls into the same boat of just being in the right room at the right time. So
what about Matt? What about when Matt threatens? Wait, it's Matt, right? I just want to make sure I have the right name. That's why. Matt, like that's the handsome guy that thinks that he's handsome. He basically threatens the head of household.
Like, read the room, brother. She was like apologizing there.
Yeah, I was like, you kind of have all the power here, and then you're just gonna we haven't even played. She hasn't even nominated anyone yet, and you're like,
she's apologizing, and he's just like, good thing you didn't make that mistake, bitch, because I will come after you. And then all of a sudden, she realizes she's going to look weak and look like terrible if she has to go home, knowing that but then she didn't nominate him. That's crazy.
The nominations were definitely a surprise. I was like, because I thought also Angela winning, I was like, okay, let's see how she does. And she was actually like fairly good. Like she like vetted everybody, was asking everybody who they thought. A lot of people don't like Lisa, the chef. So I was like, okay, that's smart.
That was kind of a no-brainer.
Kind of a no-brainer, kind of annoying. But like chemo, yeah. That was Chemo.
No, we had no word of that happening until it happened.
Whoa! I was like, what the fuck did he do? Chemo,
Yeah.
and then
He cried
who-
after. That's what he did.
yeah,
It's
chemo.
emotional.
Who was the third nominee? It was
Kenny. She did Kenny.
and Kenny.
The-
Yeah,
the
I was
cop.
like, okay.
Oh.
Kenny makes sense. He was close to winning. I guess I can, and they don't talk that much. Chemo out of nowhere. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, super shocked with that. But let's talk about this HOH comp and just kind of it brought me back to the shuffleboard days at Gramps', you know, but a little bit more intense. A lot of different twists there. How about the first round is you just have to find a group. And there's two people that just couldn't find a group and they're out. Kind of sucks.
I think the attractive girl was like, oh, I guess we're just gonna grab people next to us and not look to put together like the super group. And it's like, honey, that said put together a group really quick. You know, it's like, what don't you understand?
Yeah, and it's
This
also
guy-
like you're 6'1". Use your wingspan. Grab some.
This guy Tucker, man, I don't know what to think of him. He's just kind of clueless. And he was in a group, and then they just like yeeted him and right off the get-go. But yeah, just find a group, and these two couldn't do it. And then the shuffleboards, I mean, kind of fun, but then it's kind of just the same thing every single time. I thought there would be a little bit more of a twist there, but just kind of just shuffleboard.
I did like the factor of like calling people, just be eliminating groups. I thought that was cool. I was like, that's like kind of stirs the pot a little bit. You can kind of, kind of adds to the, messiness of it. But then they did it for the first round and then didn't do it again. And I was like, oh, that sucks.
I was shocked that the first group that won was Matt's group, and he chose to take out another group that didn't have Angela in it. I was kind of interested.
I was also surprised
Thought that
with
was an interesting choice.
Oh, because he had said earlier that he was like, I don't think anybody thought that she was any kind of threat, though. The thing that shocked me, and it's like, Duke, you said that we played shuffleboard every Christmas at Gramps' house. So we kind of get the idea of the game. It's like if somebody throws the puck or whatever, you get to see how the table is moving. This dude, like, I get that he's in really good shape, but it was as if he never saw anybody throw it because he would whip it down the table each time. Like, what? Like, slow down on the curls, big guy. It's like, what is happening?
Yeah, Pat, you remember they used to call you Mr. Softy. You never really got it, too far in. So you would have been great here.
I mean,
That's
the
how
table
we call it, Mr. Soft.
was chock full of dust. First of I got a doubles championship with Aunt Noreen one year. So you know what? I'll take that.
I'll post that picture in the edit. But yeah, Angela comes away with the dub. Do you think it's warranted that her reasoning for putting up Kenny, the undercover cop, was because he was good at this specific competition?
I mean, I don't think so because he wasn't like the last shot he whipped down again. I was like, you gotten this far and he whips it down there. I was like, I know you got to aim for like one, but this is one of those HOHs that doesn't take like a lot of skill. You don't have to think too much. It's mainly, a lot of it is luck. So I think it is the perfect one for Angela to win. And maybe there's more maybe she's fantastic at competitions, but from what I've seen, it's like, no, not really. I also think you can't cry during the HOH. You can't. I feel like that comes off so like
pull it together.
Come on, what do we do? It's week one. Come on. And I would understand if she wasn't in her reasoning, like she didn't talk a lot of game with Kenny. I get that. I guess that's fine. But again, you have two people that can't vote, can't compete. It's like laying it up for you. And she didn't even consider that. And the two people that are in her alliance can't vote. So, that also sucks. It's like you should probably take that into account, that there are two powers in play now, and then there are two people that can't vote. And you know for a fact that the two people who can't vote or compete are in your alliance. Like, I mean, it's kind of tough.
Did you think like during that when she was like winning, right? They cut to her in the diary room and she says, I want to be seen. Like I'm not, somehow I became their mother. Like I'm not just a mom. Like I'm like a player. Like I could play. And then it cuts to her in the game and she screams, "Who's your mommy? Who's your mommy now?" And it's like, well, which one is it? Like, do you want to be their mom or do you not want to be their mom? Because you just asked them to like refer to you as mom.
Yeah.
Who's your mommy? It was
And
like
it's
so
also like,
weird.
you're a mom. That's okay. I feel like you're mad about the mom thing, but that's your thing. You're a mom.
I'm not going to say that the entire time I was watching it, I was horrified that she's 2 years younger than me. So like I'm watching it and when she's screaming, "Who's your mommy?" and she's like acting like that, I'm just like, man, I would have been 2 grades above this woman. She looks like an old lady on the street, like that would like live down the street, and now I'm older than her. Kill myself.
Do you think if Angela did not win the HOH, she would definitely have been one of the nominees? I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. I think that might be her, because we see that a lot in the older contestants. They're usually in the ones that can't compete as well. I mean, granted, she won, so maybe Angela could be a competition threat. I don't think so, but typically, I think Angela's lot in this is going to be put on the block, keep around because she's easy to beat. We've seen that before, and now that there's going to be 3 nominees, it'll be real. Angela, Mama, I need you, please. You're an people like you. You're the mom of the group. Nobody's going to vote you out. She'll be on the block a lot. That's my guess.
What do
even
you
now she's BB guns.
Dude, that
I, I,
so hard. Oh my God.
I was just about to ask about what did you guys think of that decision, but for Quinn to reveal to Angela his, secret power, his secret upgrade. Do you think
I
that
thought it
was
was
smart?
I
Yeah.
think it was smart. Yeah, because now she feels like they're bonded. He's got BB guns going for him, so like there's that. Yeah, I thought it was a good. I mean, what do you think, Pat?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a really good read on Angela. I feel like she's gonna be very talkative, kind of like Mama Fee last season. It's like I don't know how far you can trust her word, and if it gets out that Quinn has this, and she lets that slip to her alliance, that's gonna bite him pretty hard. But again, I understand the move of like trying to, gain, strength with the HOH. It's a good move, I think, for the first week. But I can see a possibility where Angela does let that slip, whether it's intentional or not.
Yeah, but I think it's only 4 weeks, similar to the one that Mackenzie has. So he buys himself, 1 week without having to use it. He only has 3 more weeks to use it. So, I do also think it was a smart move by Quinn. But yeah, that's basically it with everything. The only other question I had, I don't know if this is obvious to you guys, but do you think, Chemo being kind of a random nominee, do you think it's pretty much in play that we have a Matt backdoor with the veto coming up? Whoever wins veto, she replaces Chemo or any of the other 2 with Matt?
I mean, the coming attractions looks like they're fighting, so I think it's gonna be that, right? Like I think they kind of tipped that to us a little bit. So
yeah, I think there might be a backdoor situation. I mean, it's just tough because it's like now there's 2 competitions in which you can earn safety, which it's the backdoor becomes way harder to execute now. But I think realistically that might be the way it goes. Unfortunately, I mean, it's weird because Angela. It's also like when you're HOH, the goal is to not get as much blood in your hands, and so now Angela's nominated for possibly 4 people for the block, which is like not great.
Yeah.
But
Only one goes home.
only one goes home, and so you know, I don't see her. It'd be smart to backdoor Matt because there's clearly, I mean, he also threatened her. So yeah, if I'm Angela, you're gone. Like I'm gonna do everything in my power to get you out of here. So it's a crazy move by Matt to be like, I could come after you. I have all the votes. People like me in here. It's like, yo, whoa,
He's super confident.
Yeah.
super confident.
Let's see how that pans
It's
out.
always it's always the downfall, it's like such a mistake.
I can already see the edit. Yeah, I have all the votes, and then it pans to him getting voted out by unanimously.
Yeah.
You just didn't have
Do
it.
you guys see a showmance potentially happening? Could this be the first show where nobody hooks up?
I think the candidates are pretty much Cam or Matt, and I think Mackenzie. I mean, Matt reaches her height requirement, so, and there's no chubby chasers or
There's no
chubby dudes. Yeah, so
I don't know. I can see Cedric. Cedric was tough.
Bree was saying when she was watching it that she thought that Cedric and the 2 people that have the disadvantage, Chelsea, could maybe be something.
That's what I thought too, because there was a shot of them on the couch, and she was like had her head on his shoulder. Maybe that's just a friend thing, but I was like, oh,
is it a friend thing, Pat? Is that a friend thing?
I don't know.
What do you guys think of Rubina? I felt like that she's a lot.
A lot.
She's a lot. Yeah, I was also very much her and Angela. I was like, you guys are a ton right now, and I was like, I get it. Do we have to show our personality? That's a lot of personality.
Yeah.
And what do you guys think of Decor? That accent, I can't listen.
All over the place.
I can't. It threw me off.
Yeah,
so hard.
Her describing the locations that she lived in and then trying to trace it back and see, like, it just didn't add up for me.
I
Chicago?
was watching it and I was like, you have to. It sounds like you have something caught in the back of your mouth. I can't listen to you.
You think it's a fake accent?
When she kept saying where she was from, people were like, "Oh yeah." I was like, what? Like, I don't understand.
You lived in England since you were 8. Like that's not you. And then you spent the rest of your life in the United States. What accent? What?
That London Chicago combo that happened.
It's a deadly mix.
Yeah, that London South Chicago accent that everyone's talking about.
Guys, listen, there's only one thing left to do. We always do it at the beginning of the season. We've watched a couple episodes now. We have to make our winner picks, and I don't really know how we did last year. I think, Pat, you were out pretty early, right?
Pat always picks Rachel.
Pat picked blue.
I picked blue last year and regretted that pick.
I picked Suri. I remember that. She made it decently far. And I think Uncle Shane, who'd you pick?
I don't even remember who played last.
Well, that doesn't matter now.
Last DJ, was that last year or the year before?
Oh, yeah. No, he was 2 years ago. I miss him. Bring him back for All Stars.
Yeah.
All right, but who wants to kick it off? Pat, do you want to start off this season with your choice?
Yeah, I will. And I'm gonna pick. I think this person. They're a super fan. I like the game they're playing so far. They got a good sense of humor. They've seen the show. Already won a huge advantage. I want to pick Quinn. That was going to be my pick. Yeah. I see him winning.
Curly hair?
Yeah. Curly hair, yeah.
Okay. Yep, that makes sense. He's in a good spot. He's in a great spot. Okay, so Pat, you have Quinn. Uncle Shane, do you want to go next? Yep. Okay. Leah.
And this is why I think this Leah is going to win. Like Leah is annoying to me, right? I think that like she's constantly posing, but she's just cute enough where she can get the attention of the guys and manipulate them if she wants. But she could be sort of that I think she can get the girls to rally, but she's also smart. Like I think she voted yes to have the AI person play. So she's clearly thinking ahead. Um, and I don't know. I think that she is manipulative enough to win, but she's not like a dum dum. I think she's pretty sharp.
I think those two, Quinn and Leah, I think they're going to probably be working together. It seems like they were hinting at that the first couple episodes.
Yeah.
For me, those are definitely two of my top picks gone, but I'll tell you right now, the two guys that I'm between are Cedric and Joseph. And Uncle Shane kind of calling out Joseph made me think a couple, like maybe not Joseph. But I'm gonna go with Joseph. I'm gonna go with the mustache guy. I think that
Mustache.
I think that he gave me creeper vibes early on, but he kind of, I liked what he was doing in this past episode, and I think nobody's gonna be looking at the mustache guy for a couple rounds. So I think he'll make it decently far.
Yeah. It is smart to lay low, which I think, but he also did make like he showed like a good game move. I think also Leah isn't like attracting too much attention, but she's also like kind of rallying, like hinting at a girls' alliance, or also just like smart enough. I also think Quinn is playing pretty under the radar. I think all of the people that we picked are doing the thing that you should do when you get into the house. Start playing right away, but don't let anybody know that you're playing. Be nice. Don't be too nice. Go under the radar. Don't go and threaten the HOH. I don't know. Week 1, maybe let's not do that. So, but I think huge no. So I think those are 3 good picks on our part.
Alrighty, guys. Well, that's basically all I have. It's always fun getting to a new season and chatting about it. But yeah,
Wait, dude. And Uncle Shane, who do you think the first boot is? Who would you want to see get booted first?
I would want Lisa to get booted just because she's like I don't vibe with what she's putting out. But I think it's gonna be Matt. Unless he
I'm afraid it's gonna be
is
Matt too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, Matt. No, it's not Matt. No, Matt's not even, but he's not nominated.
Not yet.
I think he will be.
Him.
I think she will. Just because the chemo thing was such a shock. And yeah, and he was crying. I think she's gonna give him mercy.
And do you think
I talked about Tucker? This guy's bizarre, don't you think?
I can't put my finger on what's wrong with him, but there is something wrong with him.
It's also, he's a chef, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm a chef with protein powder." I was like, "That's the most LA thing I've ever heard in my life." I was like, "This guy."
He just looks like one of Patrick's characters. That's what this guy looks like. Like he's like a character that Patrick does.
Every time there's a group shot of the cast, like in the backyard or doing something, he's always off to the side by himself. Like he just, I don't know what he's doing. He's all over the place.
Do you think that before we go, do you think Angela after week 1, because typically the week 1 HOH go home the next week, what do you think she's going to fall victim to week 1 HOH syndrome, or do you think she's going to play it right?
For me, it depends on what she accomplishes this week. I think if she does end up backdooring Matt, I think she will be able to, use the people that she's in kind of like an alliance in her room with. But if Matt's still in the game after this, he's probably a strong contender to win HOH, and I feel like people would rally behind getting out Angela if he wanted that.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
depends.
I think it all comes down to the veto and who Angela, if she does go for the back door.
Alrighty, guys. Well, that's all I have. Let's sign off then.